Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're not just talking about a revival. We are really analyzing a blueprint for how niche media, fueled by pure fan devotion, can claw its way back into existence.
We're definitely going back to a foundational era of sci-fi rom-coms.
Yes, because the classic series Please Teacher, or Onegai Teacher for the purists, is officially returning for a new project.
And this isn't just some corporate rehash. The announcement follows the 20th anniversary, and it's really a fantastic case study in modern media finance.
How so?
Well, the production isn't relying on massive studio financing. It's all powered by a very sophisticated, very targeted crowdfunding mechanism.
That's right. So our mission for this deep dive is to dissect the operational heart of this whole thing. We're looking at the hard numbers, the risk management.
And their contingency plan is remarkable.
It is. And we'll look at the creative team continuity, which is just essential for earning that backer trust. This is a story about nostalgia being manufactured with really precision engineering.
Exactly. For those of you tracking how media is changing, this just shows the power shift. A passionate, sometimes overlooked niche fan base can use its own money to become the ultimate producer.
We're looking at the economics of loyalty.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start where, any modern media project has to start, the money.
Right.
The Japanese production company, Genko Inc., has set a very specific financial target. It's 25 million yen.
And when you translate that for a Western audience, we're looking at approximately $160,000 USD.
Which sounds like a lot, but in animation.
It's a tight, specific figure. In the world of modern animation, $160,000 doesn't fund a 12-episode series. Not even close.
So what does it point to?
It points squarely toward a highly polished original video animation, an OVA, or maybe a high-quality 30-minute short. The specificity of that number, it implies they have a fixed, well-scoped deliverable in mind.
They're running this campaign on Motion Gallery, and fans have until March 27, 2026 to contribute. Now, that deadline seems pretty far off.
It does, but the early momentum is already telling the story.
It's extremely revealing. The campaign has already raised over 4 million yen.
Yeah, but what's critical is the source of that money. That 4 million yen comes from only 142 backers so far.
Wow. Okay, that's astonishing data. If you actually run those numbers, that means the average contribution is way higher than what you'd see in a typical Kickstarter.
It absolutely proves that loyalty economics point.
Yeah.
This isn't a wave of thousands of small, curious donations. This is a highly dedicated, high-value core fan base willing to contribute generously.
So they're targeting the true believers.
The ones who see this as an investment, not just a purchase. An investment in keeping their specific cultural touchstone alive.
And to capture that, they've mapped out the tiers beautifully.
Yeah.
You can get involved for as little as 4,000 yen.
Which, as our sources amusingly noted, is less than a night out in Akihabara.
But the tiers scale all the way up to 110,000 yen for, the real high roller supporters.
And that wide range is essential. It lets them appeal to the casual fan who just wants a postcard, right up to the super fan who wants their name in the credits.
So if the money is the engine, who are the mechanics? Who are the fans actually trusting to deliver this? Because they could have just handed that money to a new team.
But they didn't. They understood that for a nostalgia campaign to work, authenticity is it's non-negotiable, and the biggest sign of authenticity is creative continuity.
And they brought back the heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah.
We have the original director, Yasunori Ide, back in the director's chair.
Yeah.
And he didn't just direct Please Teacher.
He also did the follow-up, Please Twins.
Exactly. So his return is huge.
It is, because he was responsible for that emotional core. He balanced the high-concept sci-fi stuff, the alien marriage, with the grounded, awkward high school romance. You need that vision to replicate the feeling of the original.
And the visual language is just as protected. Taraka Uon is back as the character designer.
And Kusanagi is back for the background art. Uen's designs are so tied to that early 2000s aesthetic, that soft, slightly rounded look. If you changed that, the whole thing would just feel like a cheap imitation.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second. If you're relying entirely on staff from 20 years ago, isn't there a creative risk? Doesn't that sometimes lead to something that feels dated?
That's a valid point. It's a tension every revival like this faces. But for this niche, the risk of feeling dated is, I'd argue, lower than the risk of modernizing it too much.
So the fans aren't paying for a 2026 anime?
No. They're investing in the continuation of a 2002 anime. For them, continuity is the quality standard. And nothing cements that more than the casting.
The casting is the detail that truly drives the trust, the sonic continuity.
It has to be.
All the original voice actors are set to reprise their roles. You simply can't fake that.
It's the highest form of assurance you can give. The vocal performance is the final layer. You can accept updated animation, maybe, but if Kei and Mizuho sound wrong, the whole thing just falls apart.
And to blend that authenticity with, modern production, we are seeing some new blood on the logistics side. Emi Yonezawa is the producer for Studio M2.
Yeah, Studio M2 provides that contemporary production scaffolding. And Atsuko Nakajima, a really respected animator, is contributing illustrative features. It's that perfect mix. The old guard with the creative vision and new talent handling the execution.
And they've given themselves a tight timeline, which I think also helps. They're aiming to finish by April or May of 2026.
Which is smart. A long, drawn-out production schedule kills fan enthusiasm. This feels aggressive but realistic. It shows they're ready to go.
Okay, so for anyone tuning in who might have missed this foundational work of early 2000s anime, we should probably talk about the truly bizarre and wonderful premise.
Right, the core concept. It's this brilliant blend of wish fulfillment and tragic limitations.
The protagonist, Kei Kusanagi, is 18, but he's got this very specific thing shaping his life.
Yeah.
The standstill.
Let's clarify what that is, because it's not some generic fantasy trope.
No, it's a medical condition. It comes from a childhood coma, and it causes him to enter this temporary state of catatonia when he's under extreme stress.
It's a narrative device, really, to justify this profound emotional disconnect. He's an adult chronologically, but his formative years were, frozen.
Which makes his interactions with the new teacher, Mizuho Kazami, incredibly complicated.
Yes, because Mizuho is not just any teacher. She's an extraterrestrial agent sent to observe Earth. She's the ultimate in emotional maturity juxtaposed against Kei's arrested development.
And then comes the twist that made the show so iconic.
The escalation.
Due to a misunderstanding and a camera malfunction, Kei is suddenly forced to marry his alien teacher.
It just accelerates the relationship from an awkward high school crush to a high-stakes, legally binding interspecies marriage in, the span of one episode.
It forces Kei, the emotionally stunted kid, to navigate adult responsibilities while still dealing with homework and high school politics.
It really was pioneering stuff for the genre, mixing that mundane high school drama with literally cosmic stakes.
Absolutely. And for anyone who needs a refresher or wants to dive in for the first time, both Please Teacher from 2002 and the follow-up Please Twins are streaming on Crunchyroll.
A perfect way to see exactly what that 25 million yen is going to continue.
Speaking of investment, let's detail the tangible returns. Beyond just seeing the series return, what are collectors actually getting?
The reward tiers are really mapped to collector value. The main driver for the mid to high tiers anyway is a Blu-ray of the new project itself.
So they get the content directly.
Right, often before any wider distribution. And they're also getting a special compilation anthology for the 20th anniversary, likely full of concept art, interviews, that sort of thing.
Plus the usual collectibles.
Yeah, the standard fare that marks their participation. Custom acrylic boards, postcards, clear files. They're not just trinkets, they're like physical proof that you were part of resurrecting the show.
No, we mentioned this earlier, but the creators made a critical promise that just fundamentally changes the risk for backers.
This is the linchpin of trust for the whole campaign.
They've promised they won't abandon the dream, even if they don't hit the full 25 million yen.
In traditional crowdfunding, missing the goal often means the project is just shelved. That destroys fan confidence. By guaranteeing delivery no matter what, Genko is telling fans the project is happening. The 25 million just determines the scale, not the existence.
That's a massive assurance. It implies they already have a core budget, and the crowdfunding is to elevate it. So what does that mean for distribution if the funds are lower?
It means they focus on high-impact, targeted distribution. They've already confirmed a planned limited release with screenings in the actual settings that inspired the original series.
So we're talking screenings in Tokyo, but specifically, the sources highlight Lake Kizaki.
Exactly. Lake Kizaki in Nagano Prefecture was the primary real-world setting for the school and the town in the show. By committing to screenings there, they are prioritizing the emotional link between the series, the geography, and the most dedicated fans.
It's an artistic choice that favors cultural resonance over raw viewership numbers.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this strategy highlights a massive shift. They're fusing the authenticity of the old team with a guaranteed delivery promise. They're leveraging the cultural value of the series itself to sustain production, even if they only hit, say, 70% of their goal.
It creates a sense of community ownership that a traditional studio release just can't replicate.
The fans aren't just consumers here, they're patrons.
So what does this all mean? The revival of Please Teacher is way more than just anime news. It's a compelling blueprint for the fan-funded media industry. The whole engine runs on fusing fan investment with the non-negotiable authenticity of the original team.
It's a guarantee of nostalgia, delivered. This model is a powerful antidote to media saturation. It proves deep-pocketed passion for niche content can fund quality production outside of major studios.
And given that the creators are planning those limited screenings in Tokyo and Lake Kizaki, that raises a really important question.
It does. How does this direct, localized relationship with the specific real-world places that inspired the show deepen the cultural value and fan ownership of a revival, even when you compare it to a traditional, widespread digital release?
It's the ultimate localized nostalgia bomb. It connects the fantasy directly to a real, shared physical space. Consider that power of localized cultural ownership the next time a niche franchise asks for your investment.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.